Oh, la, la, la. Hi. Jess, thank you so much for being the first darling in the sky. Welcome. And Biz, thank you for joining the party as well. I will stretch. And I will water. Sorry for the delay. I may have accidentally forgotten to set up the vertical stream. Oops. It's there now. Blah! Hey, it matters to me, okay? If I'm using the bandwidth to output to two sources, I want to try and have those sources set up properly. Did I make a thumbnail for? No, I definitely did. I definitely did make a thumbnail for this. Because I did it for YouTube. What did I call it? That's what I call it. Oh, nice. Well, hang in there, Jess, while you can. Hopefully not too much longer on you. Oh goodness, don't get overloaded on Star. Starlings, I have an announcement. Wow. I have a very important announcement. After my intro. Hi, Starlings. It's me, Starelia Yumera, your idolventurer, here to join your party. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It's warm. If only. I think it's very funny that this is a professional. I say professional, I'm just talking through some notes. The stuff I have to pay attention to for work. But, because anyone can do what I'm doing. But I think it's funny that this is the more professional coded stream because I think this is the least amount of clothes I have ever worn while streaming before. I'll just let you sit with that one for a moment. You can just have that one. Too much Star? I think that it's entirely possible to have too much Star. Oh, goodness. It is so insanely warm in my room. So, you know, as you may or may not notice, there are certain days that I work from home. Which means that I'm, you know, working in my room the entire day. And it traps all the heat in there. But then also, on top of that, for a little bit, once I was done, I played my PS5, which was quite a mistake. It was quite a mistake. My room is so warm right now. So, like, having my computer, my laptop, and my, well, and then later, my PS5, it is made only warmth. So anyway, I'm in, like, a sports bra and shorts, and I think this is actually the least amount of clothes I've ever worn during a stream. So my apologies for the unprofessionalism. I know it's very upsetting to all of you. I really hate to disappoint the Starlings. Well, I could go downstairs, but the problem is there's better sound isolation upstairs because of all the carpet, but downstairs is so much colder because it's all like linoleum. Oh, hello, welcome. That is the time to join the show. Oh my goodness. You too. I know it's rough out there in Europe. I hope all of you struggling with that. I hope it calms down. Einfach Bratwurst. Oh. I see. Welcome. Oh my goodness. Hello. Yeah, it's very warm. It's very, very, very warm. But hello, hi. I hope all of you are having a nice day so far. I'd like to make it a little nicer if I can. I'm tired and I'm warm. And I hate being warm. The problem is that, like, I don't get cold or warm easily. I get both. I am so sensitive to temperature. And it's so annoying. I really hate it. I get so warm or so cold so easily, and it's, like, frustrating. For like the 8th year running. Oh, isn't it fun? Do not put this woman in a situation. No. She will be too relevant temperature regardless of the circumstance, and it's not fun. It's not a fun thing. Yeah. It's so warm. It's so warm, chat. I don't want it to be warm anymore. I don't want it to be warm anymore. Please. Please, 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 please. I don't want it to be warm anymore. I'm so tired of it being warm. Just cover the star in ice cubes. No. No, for different reasons. My skin is still sensitive. Like it won't solve the problem, and then I'll be wet too. And then like that's just like, that's the thing I hate. That's why I hate doing cardio. I hate doing cardio because you sweat and then you get wet and gross and dirty feeling and icky. But like it's good for you because cardio is good for your heart health, which is like the best case scenario for like working out, is that it keeps your blood flow good and healthy, and it's really healthy for you, and you should do cardio. But God, I hate cardio because it makes me feel gross. Ugh. It's like the funny part of like, I mean, I do very low resistance, very light workout, and I'm at the point where like my non-cardio typically doesn't make me sweat at this point, but my cardio still does, and I'm just like, please, I hate it. I don't want to do cardio anymore. I'm doing it because it's good for me. I can feel my stamina increasing as I do a little more each time, but man, I don't want to do cardio anymore, chat. Can't be warm, can't be cold. Star can't win. I would rather be cold because at least I can bundle up. You know, when I'm warm, you can only take off so many layers, which I've already done. I've already taken off my shirt. It's... I am suffering. You know? You know, you can't just take off all the layers. That's not how it works. That's just not how it works. That's not safe. That's not safe for stream. Starling Cuddlepile. Only during the winter, though. Not during the summer, please. Do not touch me during the summer. I'm too warm. I'm already suffering. I'm already suffering. But yes, today I will be talking more about Anime Expo. And as I had mentioned and kind of talked about a little bit before, what I'll be talking about specifically are the types of notes that I take for work in my field. Now, I actually made a presentation for work and had shown it off to like relevant people internally. I basically made the same thing, but specifically a stream safe version that has no sensitive or, you know, no info that I'm not allowed to share. Almost everything that I noted are things that people who go there could notice themselves. It's also simply off of my observation, and the thing about Anime Expo is everyone's experience is going to be so different with that many people, that many exhibitors, that many events and stuff. Everyone's going to have a vastly different experience. I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about mine and have a more focused thing. I actually do have an easier time talking about stuff if I take notes. That's kind of the big thing for me, is I'm very bad off the cuff with yapping. I feel like if I yap off the cuff, I tend to forget most things. I was actually really impressed when Salem was talking about Anime Expo, and I think there's just, you know, differences between us in general, but like she was able to retain so much of what happened at Anime Expo in the exact order that it happened, and I'm like, I remember that those events happened. I don't remember what day they are though. Summer is an improvised fire spell. I will use the starlings as kindling if I must. It's already warm here in the sun, and in a week it'll be getting somewhere. I'll be going somewhere warmer. Oh dear. Take care. Try to stay cool. Oh. Since I made those you weren't supposed to show up on command. Hi Salem, welcome. Yeah, I mean that's just like I just don't remember things that way almost ever. I can almost never remember the order of specific events and memories. It's very rare. I might be able to remember the day, but definitely not the order. I'm playing Salem isn't ever present. She's got her own life. She's got her own streams. I don't expect her to be here every day, you know? But she comes into my chat and is sweet to me. Schrodinger's Salem. She truly is a cat. I think that part's obvious, but you know, just in case anyone wasn't sure, she surely is a cat of all time. See? That's a cat. Right there, right in chat, proven right there. My goodness. My goodness. I'm sleepy. I feel like it's been a busy day and also a very quiet day. I guess that's like a, you know, the backwards way of saying it was a very productive day, which is a positive. I've actually been not today, but in general, I've been sketching a lot again, trying to. I was actually I've been working on something specific for Offkai, which I think I've shown before. I've done an idol signature before, and I don't remember what it was for. There was something I needed it for, but I don't remember. There's a specific reason. Anyway, I've been like kind of drafting and updating the kind of idol signature idea that I've had forever, and practicing it to see if I can make it both consistent and quick and easy to do. For one specific use case, but still, there is no Starelia Yumera signing, no meet and greet. Don't worry, you're not missing out on anything. I will just be wandering like a cryptid. If you go to Offkai, there is a chance that you may encounter Starelia Yumera, or not. It just, you know what happens. Included in the charms, was that just improvised? Did I do signatures on those? I feel like I didn't do signatures on those, like an actual signature. Maybe I did and I just don't remember. That's entirely possible. I did not take pictures of those, so I do not remember. But I tried to do personalized ones to everyone who bought one. Rare encounter. Yeah. A healer wandering the halls of... Where's Offkai even at? What? Offkai Expo. The San Jose Convention Center. If you see me in the streets of the San Jose Convention Center, it's a rare encounter in which, I don't know. Maybe I'll like drop kick you if you ask nicely. I don't know. It was a simple name, but that's the only thing I could think of that would have required it. There was something else specific, and I think it was longer ago than that. It was a while ago. I just don't remember what it would have been. That's okay. Sometimes you just can't hold on to memories. Or you can be Star and just never remember your memories sometimes. Maybe it's gone forever. Maybe at 2 a.m., lying in bed, unable to sleep tonight, I will remember. That's not true though, because I actually don't struggle to sleep that bad anymore. Easy. Oh my goodness. I do like sit up. Maybe if I sit up, I'll stop yawning. Like, proper posture, chat. This is very, very professional. I think it's very apparent. This is already a very professional Starelia Yumera stream, of course. As everyone knows. Only professionalism here. Also, Densha Attack came out today. The train game? The train... I don't know how else to describe it. Anyway, if you've been on like Twitter and you're in the VTubing space, you've probably seen a lot of people have been like in it as cameos. Iron Mouse, Laimu, Super Eye Patch Wolf, which I'm very excited for. I love Super Eye Patch Wolf a lot. Connor, Sea Dog. Who else is in it? I know there's some other people. Anyway, there's a handful of people in it, and the game itself looks really fun, really stylish. It's like art style reminds me, like, I think the easy one is like Jet Set Radio, but that's not quite what it reminds me of. But anyway, it's cool. It's neat. Oh, that's right. Iris and Shiori from Hololive will also be in it. It is very cool. It is very cool. Excuse me. Anyway, idol signature thing is fun. I've been doing it on paper. Maybe eventually I'll be able to wrap it into a digital format or something, just to have it as a stamp. It's maybe if I do like business, if I do like VTuber business cards, is something I could do. I wanted to make VTuber business cards for Offkai, but I forgot. I just kind of forgot. I've been so busy with everything else, with work and just Anime Expo, and life has been in the way, the whole car thing. And I really, like, I guess for Offkai, I've really only been focused on the fauna cosplay, which I need to figure out. I need to figure out two things. If I'm getting a sun hat, and then it occurred to me how I am taking the sun hat there, because that takes up a lot of space. I mean, I can squish it, but I don't want to damage it. I don't want to damage it. Yeah. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll do something about it. Anyway, who wants to learn? Who likes learning? Do you like learning, young starling? I hope so. I hope so, because I'm gonna show off my Anime Expo recap now. So, the thing about this is that this is like, I used some automatic like PowerPoint pre-built stuff to show it off. So it's not gonna look the most consistent because that thing is weird, but I did my best. I cut out all the sensitive information and like rewrote certain things. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a little more in depth on Anime Expo, the things I noticed, the things that I like pay attention to, and kind of what I do. So this is either gonna be really boring, or maybe you'll think this is interesting. I don't know. Hi Ray, welcome. I guess a little bit of an intro. What I do is I work in the licensed apparel industry. So I specifically work with a lot of, I work with a very wide range of licensors, from video games to anime to movies, TV shows, books, you know, other literary media, online media, all sorts of different things. But specifically, I assist with and primarily work on our anime properties, our video game properties, and then like kind of online niches. I will let you use your imagination for that one. I have to be a little careful. I obviously can't say too much. I can't say anything sensitive. I will be aware of that. But I think I've done a decent enough job of keeping this stream safe. So actually, one of the first things I noticed is there's the two. So at Anime Expo, there were 422,000 confirmed visitors this year ish. 422,000, I believe. That's a lot of people. The Los Angeles Convention Center and the crypto.com arena, whatever it is, are like the space, and some of the other surrounding buildings, I believe. So in the Los Angeles Convention Center, there is the South Hall and the West Hall, two primary halls that have these like kind of header banners. One of them being "That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime," and the other one being "Marriage Toxin," which immediately tells me, also since those are both Bandai Namco, I think it's Bandai Namco Filmworks, was the one pushing the advertising. So that means they Bandai Namco Filmworks put the big marketing budgets into those two series. Those were the ones they were really focused on advertising this year, which is kind of interesting. I have some more notes about those that I thought was pretty interesting personally. Hi Lily, welcome. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Here's one of the yeah, I did a bit of censorship in these pictures as well. I tried not to show any direct shots of faces, but one of the first things when you come in, I think this is in the South Hall side. Big marketing for JoJo's Steel Ball Run. I think Warner Japan is like really pushing this series specifically, which is so funny with their release schedule on Netflix, with the first episode coming out and then like a half-year wait, and also like multiple month wait even for news. We had a 4-month wait for news on when the next episode came out, and then it was confirmed to be in September. So a literal half-year wait between episodes. Now, I know they're doing this, I think it's called the stage release, which is based off certain arcs of the, certain like mini arcs of this arc of the JoJo's manga. Stage 1 being the first episode, stage 2 and stage 3 being the next 11 episodes. I don't know how much else there is left after that. I have not read any of JoJo's. I've only been watching it, which I'm still halfway through. Diamond is Unbreakable. I actually haven't watched any more in a while. But so this was a photo op. I kind of took it after hours. I took this picture after hours of it running, but there was a lot of marketing. There was a lot of like billboard ads and a lot of banners for Steel Ball Run specifically. Here's some more stuff. Don had a very, very, very big booth. Please ignore the 2 naked men on the screen, or don't. I mean, Nikkei's on the other side. That's basically the same thing. It's a bunch of almost naked women. So this is just kind of showing off like some of what was going on, what was being advertised, what was big. I think this is in West Hall. They had a giant booth for Don with basically all the different anime key arts, character intros. They had this really cool like race car that had a little Turbo Granny like decal on it basically. And then I think this is a picture of the South. Yeah, this is another picture of the South Hall. You can see the Nikkei booth. Hi, Jess. Welcome. Hello, hello. Welcome to the presentation. Please find your seat. And no significant interruptions, please. Joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. We can yap. It's fine. So Don had a very big. No, it's okay. Don had a very big marketing push. Basically all of their key arts were there. There was a big inflatable of Turbo Granny, which is actually very interesting because I think season 1 or season 2 was last year, and as far as we know, there's no big plans for any further content this year, which is kind of interesting to have a year where they're really pushing it. This will actually tie into some notes I'm thinking about later. Also in the picture, you can see the back ahead of a Zenitsu cosplayer, which I just think is very funny. And then yes, the picture on the right, the South Hall. South Hall was always packed. There's a lot of cosplayers taking photos in there. That was kind of, it seemed like it was kind of treated as the main entrance. It was always super busy in there. That hallway back where the tiny, the Nikkei booth is, it was a Nikkei booth like stage, and I think they would have like cosplayers and announcements from that stage. It was kind of interesting to be like kind of in the hall, and then behind it were some of the other gacha games like Punishing Gray Raven, and there's another one I'm not familiar with, but that was technically outside of the exhibit halls, which I thought was really interesting. Especially for how much floor space they took up, which didn't really cause any further issues with traffic as far as I can tell. They were just kind of in their own little hallway. But Banner as, of course, a Good Smile company, always a big appearance at conventions like this. Nikkei had a lot of marketing. Nikkei seemed very popular. I think there was an Ami Ami bag that if you bought something from the Ami Ami booth, it had like, one side had the Doro from Nikkei, the little creature. So there was a lot of like advertising for that around. Okay, major news and announcements from the show. Obviously this is very important to me, who has to pay attention to these things, but some of these were announced before or kind of around it. I just kind of all lumped it all together. It just made like logical sense to present the information that way. So the first one, I was actually, I got to be in person for the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run announcement. I was at the panel in the crypto arena with the amazing musical performance by Yugo Kano, and then they had Damon Mills and Kaiji Tong. the English voice actors of Johnny and Gyro kind of talking about the series, answering some questions about their characters and stuff, which I thought was super cool. So the big announcement that we got to see live was that Steel Ball Run, after the first episode aired on its own, they are returning with 11 new episodes on September 25th, which is a huge deal because we just had no idea when it was coming back. It is a weekly Friday release, apparently bringing back JoJo Fridays, which I guess is a kind of a community thing. The weekly release for JoJo's has been a big thing historically. I've never really paid JoJo's that much mind before, so I actually wasn't aware that this was like a huge, like, kind of fandom thing. Yeah, Ray, I really enjoyed the first episode of Steel Ball Run. I'm excited to see more. I'm halfway through Diamond is Unbreakable, so I'm getting there, but I have watched the first episode of Steel Ball Run. Of course, probably one of the biggest announcements from the entire show. Alien Stage had a bit of a presence, and they announced that it is officially getting an anime adaptation, which I think is kind of crazy, actually. I really didn't expect that, and I really wonder, because my fear almost is, I'm like, if it is just a straight adaptation, we're probably gonna get a lot more of the lore from the comics, and then also new original lore, I would have to imagine. But I'm kind of worried. I know this happens. This happens with like manga to anime and light novels to anime, but I'm a little worried the anime adaptation is gonna become like the default version of Alien Stage. I like Alien Stage a lot. I'm a fan of Alien Stage. I really enjoy the format. It's a story told through a series of music videos, with some supplemental comics and some like official like canon AUs, or canon, but official AUs. One where they're all writers, one now where they're zombies. Zombie Stage just started a few weeks ago now, which is a spin-off AU by the same creators, which is the funniest thing in the world. I like it a lot. It's got Doomed Yuri, it's got Doomed Yaoi, it's got Doomed Het even. I like it a lot. Also, Minzy stole my look. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. It really makes you think. But this is like kind of a huge announcement. They had a little booth for Alien Stage, where they were showing off the live tour, and they had standees. I think I have a picture of it later, for some of the characters. Solo Leveling, they announced a movie which I think is adapting the next arc of the anime. I don't really care for Solo Leveling like at all. I think it is pure power fantasy and very, very much doesn't appeal to me anymore. Maybe 10 years ago I would have liked it a lot, who knows. And then of course, the one I'm probably most excited for out of all of these, Green Yuri, the guy she was interested in wasn't a girl at all, got an anime adaptation announced, slotted for January 2027, which I think that's the winter season, with an opening by Nirvana, which means they are licensing some music for it, which is very interesting. Because real life American music is such a big part of that manga, I'm actually very curious to see how deep they went on the music licensing. I am genuinely very curious, like, how much they're putting into it, and if anything, how expensive it was. I'm so curious. Yes, Ray, the Kurt would have loved this. That was so sweet. That was so sweet. And Dave Grohl said Kurt would have loved it. Yeah, exactly, Jess. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. I have the first 2 volumes. I've read the first one. I still need to sit down and read the second. I love it a lot. I really like the energy of both the main characters, and the cutest thing, and I always mix the name up, the girl with the black hair. Oh my god, I always mix them up. Mitsuki and Aya. I always forget which one's which. I don't know why. And the girl with the black hair, she works at the CD shop. And her uncle is like the cutest, like, older brother uncle. The whole time he's like, wait, oh my god, do you like that girl? Oh my god. And like the whole time it's so cute. It's so cute. And all the supporting cast like kind of react like that. And it's just adorable, and I like it a lot. And the main character's dynamic is really fun. Highly recommend reading it. I'm very excited for the anime. I imagine this is one I will likely be keeping up with both the anime and the manga. My only concern every time this happens is, like, I know Green Yuri, like, really blew up. I think we're only 4 volumes in. So, the anime does not have a lot of content to cover unless it's the type where it does, like, a bunch of originals, which I think it'd be pretty easy to slot in, like, slice of life stories of these characters. I think that could certainly happen, and maybe that'll be the route they go. I'm just curious. I think every time I think like slice of life, I really think of like Horimiya, which did an interesting path of like season 1 told like the main like story of Horimiya, and then season 2 was like random bits from the manga that weren't first or light novel, I don't remember, that weren't first adapted by the season 1 of the anime. It was a really strange approach that I thought was really interesting. Anyway, before I get too off track, I don't know if this was announced specifically at Anime Expo, but Witch Hat Atelier season 2 is in production. That was announced. What are you talking? Okay, that's the thing. I watched Horimiya season 2 and I knew what it was like when I watched it, and I'm just like, I'm glad we got more of them. I don't know that this needed to exist though. Like it's just random scenes, and they kind of tried to like spin it together with an ending that like kind of like is a payoff for the season, but it's just like the ending of season 1 again, and it's like, I don't, why? If this is what you wanted, you should have just made the original, like, you should have made the story longer. I don't know. I think maybe it just got more popular than they expected though. That would be my honest guess about it. It just kind of blew up more in popularity than they probably expected. It's kind of the good and the bad of the, like, write a season to be the last season. As you wrote the first season of the anime, expected that to be it, and they're like, oh, we have to do more, but we already told the timeline of the story. Although I'm really enjoying You and I Are Polar Opposites. I watched the first season of that, and I'm excited for more of that as well. Witch Hat Atelier season 2 is in production. Anyway, back on track. I loved season 1. I have the first 4 volumes of the manga. I really need to sit down and read them. I can't believe I have owned all of the first 4 volumes for this long, and I've never sat down to read them before the anime came out. I actually don't know how long the first season covers, so that'll be interesting to see. Delicious in Dungeon season 2 is set to premiere in October 2027, which is still quite a ways out. We have like the key graphic for it. But I'm excited. I love the first season of it. I wonder, I don't know if they confirmed any more info. I'm very excited to see if it'll be another like 24 or so episode season. Dungeon Meshi is so good. It's so good. And it also, I swear it feels like everything has Yuri lately, and I am here for it. I'm so here for it. Have you read the manga? A little. I read a little bit after season 1, but not like, I'm not caught up. Did the manga end actually? I don't remember. I read a tiny bit, but I'm not like caught up basically. Yeah, Farcel, yeah. I finished season 1 and binged the entire manga. Oh, okay. So has the manga ended? How did you like it? How did you like it? I like the characters a lot. I think the characters are very fun. I've cosplayed Fallon twice now. That the manga is concluded. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've cosplayed Fallon just in her normal like travel gear. which is very funny because all of her clothes are very oversized. It's very comfy. And you know, I bought it oversized because that's the sizing it's supposed to be. Now it is kind of too big for me. I really can't wear it anymore. If you dig through my media tab on my alt, you might see it. I think it's been a while since I posted it. I was going to retire it. I didn't. The only cosplay I've got rid of so far was Giyu from Demon Slayer. I did donate that one. And then Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2 premieres in October, which I'm not sure if I'm ready to get hurt again. I know they premiered the first 2 episodes at Anime Expo. Unfortunately, I was not able to make that panel, but I really wanted to. The problem with like big industry panels is they take like so the Steel Ball Run I was specifically invited to as an industry guest. That one, the panel was 2 hours, but even for industry guests, the 2-hour screening time plus the like hour and a half in lines, it was like a 4-hour ideal. And that's like 4 hours of like exhibitor hall and like anything else that you have. And when you have like a limited amount of time and you have to like hit all of these things, it's really hard to balance that. So JoJo's was the only panel that I was able to make it to. Excuse me. I've been yapping a little too much without any water. I need to drink water. But yes, apparently the first 2 episodes debuted at Anime Expo. I've heard nothing but good things. I heard it was crazy. I really want to know. I love the first season. I've been really itching to play the Cyberpunk game 2077, which I'm like an hour into. I've barely touched it. My PC cannot run it very well. I did hear that it has a cross save, so I'm kind of hoping to wait for the Switch 2 version to get a decent sale, and then I will pick it up, because I've heard the Switch 2 version actually runs really well, apparently. Hi, Eternal, welcome. Thank you for joining the party. Hello, hello. And then we have Kagurabachi debuts in April 2027. I think this one is wild because I only knew this one because of the memes when like the first 1 or 2 manga chapters came out. I'm also very surprised. Apparently, they did debut the first 2 episodes in Anime Expo as well, which is kind of insane. Specifically because that is almost like, that is what, 9 months before the anime debuts? 9 whole months. That's insane. That is like so insanely early. I've heard good things. I don't really know what to think of it yet. I didn't get to see those, but we'll see. Again, I don't know if this was announced around it, but I think Viz announced officially that RWBY Volume 10 is in production. I think this has been a rumor. Like, a lot of people have been suspecting it for a while since Viz obtained them. But they did officially confirm it. And then also another big thing, Studio Trigger announced a new anime in production. Of course, they did Gurren Lagann, they've done Kill la Kill, they've done a handful of others, basically all kind of blockbuster titles during the time of their release. So I'm excited. Oh my gosh, I binged all of RWBY last year. I have all of RWBY on Blu-ray. I like RWBY a lot with like 10 asterisks. I really enjoy RWBY. The last 3 seasons. I mean, okay, Volume 9, not as much. But the first... Their Volume 8 and 9 are such a, like, nothing good ever happens that I've been burnt out on RWBY. As much as I love the series, I love the characters, I love that world, I'm like, please, could we just have, like, something good happen to them for once, finally? Or, sorry. No, was I mixing up? No. 9, yeah. 7 and 8, nothing good happened. Like, every, like, light in the dark. Every like hope spot is crushed like immediately every single time, and I'm like, guys, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I just want something good to happen to these girls. And then Volume 9's kind of intense, but it is a change of pace, and I did like Volume 9 a lot. It's a little strange, but I did like it a lot. I am interested to see where the story will go from here. Trigger's best anime ever, Inferno Cop. Oh my god, yeah, wait. Did I watch Inferno Cop? I know what Inferno Cop is. Did I watched Luluco. I did watch Space Ranger Luluco. Did I actually watch the Inferno Cop show? I don't remember. No, I don't think I did. I need to watch Inferno Cop. Lesbians to confess, finally. Ignore that I was essentially with a gun to their head. Yeah! Yeah. It only took a while. It took a while. And then, of course, I was basically up front and center for Steel Ball Run as I was invited to the industry panel. Again, something I went around on Twitter and mentioned is one thing I was not very happy about, unrelated to the panel itself, is that industry guests were told to use basically the ADA, the accessibility lines, with the accessible needs attendance, which I think is very strange. And I think that the ADA attendance should be prioritized first for getting in, because what happened with this panel specifically is there was the industry, the press, the ADA line all as one, and then the general audience line that was right next to us, which is way longer, of course. And the thing with this is, they opened the door for both sides in at once. So not only was it like, general audience was getting in and running in and rushing in, creating like the big like line and blockage. And then the ADA people couldn't safely get to somewhere to sit because it's an arena that got immediately funneled. Oh my goodness, yes, please don't get in trouble at work, Jess. Thank you for hanging out for a little bit. And I will stretch and I'll drink water. Don't worry, don't worry. Thank you. Take care. But I just kind of watched them like basically get trampled by the crowd immediately because they couldn't safely make it in. And I don't know why, even if it had just been like, I mean, it would have needed to be more, but just a few minutes to let them get in and get settled, I think would have made a bit more sense. But otherwise, the panel itself was amazing. Yugo Kanno's performance was amazing. The opening medley for anime seasons 2 through Steel Ball Run, so Stardust Crusaders through Steel Ball Run, as that's what he was the composer of. It was all very well put together. It was very well done. I enjoyed it a lot, and the announcements were exciting. People really like hot pants. People really like a non-binary. And then this is kind of an exhibitor overview. Just kind of a summary of like all of the things and people there showing off stuff. So for like anime, manga, online media, we got like Toho Animation, Viz Media, Crunchyroll, Atlas, and Sega for games. Cyber Agent, Kadokawa. I think I put Atlas in the wrong section. Oops. Oh well. And then Alien Stage. Specifically at the Animate, Alien Stage only had the museum booth, which is just kind of showing off some stuff. But then they had their actual merch connected to it on the other side at the Animate booth. Basically, I think their exclusive official distributor. We had plenty of game studios, mostly gacha game studios, Hoyoverse, Yostar, Cygames, and then we had Serenity Forge, who does all the publishing for like Needy Streamer Overload, Doki Doki Literature Club, Slay the Princess, and a handful of others. And if you know somewhat recently, I played Slay the Princess, so I'm a big fan. I also really love Needy Streamer. CD Projekt Red was there, of course, primarily for Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2. So I guess they're kind of anime and game division, it seems. Excuse me. And then, you'll probably know a lot of these very well if you're a Hololive fan, but tons of original artist apparel and collab booths. The ones that stood out to me really are Omocat, Quinoa Monster. I love actually most of the companies on this. Quinoa Monster, unfortunately, I didn't get to visit. Lilium's Fish, which I had never heard of before. I think that's how it's pronounced at least. Bandage Brigade, who had another Hololive collab as well. And then Chiro Fish. I'm a big fan of Chiro. I have a lot of her clothes. I have a lot of Omocat, a lot of Omona, a lot of Quinoa Monster. A lot of Chiro Fish. Oh my goodness. And then there was a lot of specifically VTuber related booths with specifically VTuber meet and greets, which really surprised me. Gamersubs, Senpai Squad had a lot of VTuber merch, specifically Doki Bird, Iron Mouse, and Ashton Martin. Always love to see them. Mozobox, who I did go and get to do the meet and greet with Ashes on, of course, that was very fun. The Iron Mouse Arcade, which I did see during the Densetsu meet and greet. I didn't get a chance to talk to them, but I did see it. It was very cool. And there was like a claw catcher. There was a few, like, I think there were like 2 claw catcher UFO like claw machines and some other stuff. It was very cool. It was very fun. There was also like a photo up there, and that's showing off like the crazy Toho animation like city backdrop they have. They were primarily advertising Apothecary Diaries, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Frieren this year. So that's why I talk a bit about marketing. It's just important for me to pay attention to like what is being sold, what is around, what has a lot of like floor real estate. That's very important. So Black Torch and Kagurabachi in specific, I noticed had like a ton of advertising, lots of banner ads. They both had these bag advertisements you kind of see at the top. Black Torch, they had like these backpack style ones, I think from the Crunchyroll booth. And then Kagurabashi from Cyber Agent also had like these giant, like kind of tote bags, gift bags around that they were handing out for free. As I mentioned earlier, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run had a ton of advertising all throughout the space. It seems like Warner Japan's really, really pushing it, of course. Then there was Marriage Toxin, and this one really surprised me because it was one of the head banners for, I believe, South Hall. And then also it had a giant booth. And I am a few episodes deep into Marriage Toxin, but Bandai Namco Filmworks is putting a lot of advertising budget into this anime. It had a huge presence. At least that I recognized. I didn't see any cosplayers. I didn't see like any merch, any fan merch. I was really surprised to see like how present, how relevant it was for them there. So they're really, really, really pushing it. And I think this one also just ended recently, the first season. Bleach 1000 Year Blood War with Viz, they are doing a lot of marketing, I think also for the Hulu side. Looks like kind of Disney Hulu. Yeah. Hulu, so Disney was pushing a lot of like, Hulu has been getting more and more rights to anime distribution and screening. And depending on your region, it might just be Disney Plus directly. They were advertising Bleach 1000 Year Blood War was the #1. They were advertising Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen. I think also Naruto. Those are the ones I thought were very interesting. Fate Grand Order had a big marketing push for their 9th anniversary as they were advertising. I believe the art on this is from Namie, which is really gorgeous. I love her art. But you couldn't go anywhere without seeing these Fate Grand Order or these Arknights Enfield bags like everywhere you went. They had big banner ads, especially for Fate Grand Order as well. Excuse me. Dandadan, which had that giant booth, as I mentioned before, with a ton of advertising and art. Also, I noticed like there was a lot of fan merch of Don as well, but also they also did this for Hololive. But there were these little balloons of Turbo Granny's head that they were giving out for free, and like they were all over the place. I saw them all over Artist Alley. People were hanging them up on their booths and stuff. So that was a little goofy. Arknight's Enfield had this giant, crazy. I don't know anything about Arknight's. I don't know anything about Enfield, to be honest. But I had a giant booth advertising it with this really cool like crystal thing from the game. They had cosplayers there. Of course, he'd had these big circle bags, I think with Perlica on them. They were advertising. Super cute, very noticeable. You'd see them all around. Nikkei, of course, they had kind of their stage booth in the front hall. Tons of banner ads everywhere. Again, the Doro on the Ami Ami ads. And Hololive, which I thought was interesting, not because Hololive, I know Hololive's big, of course. Hololive did not have their own like booth or anything. That was run by them, to be specific. They had collabs run through a lot of partnerships. So the Omocat Justice collab specifically, I think they also might have had the Advent stuff. Omona had the new Hololive English stuff. Bandage Brigade had the CCGG stuff, the Autofister stuff. Ami Ami had a space for Hololive Serendipity, which even though Hololive Serendipity wasn't part of Anime Expo, it was advertised at the show floor. I got to write on one of the banners, giving my wishes for the girls. That was very cool. They also had the merch available for sale at Ami Ami. If you got there early enough, oh boy, you had to get there within the first hour, or those pen lights and those t-shirts were definitely sold out. I think by the time I got to them, there were only t-shirts the one day. And for the otherwise, mostly just the keychains. And the art for the keychain was really cool. And then, similarly, Persona for the 30th anniversary was pushed at quite a few booths, including the Atlas Sega booth itself, as well as, like Omocat, their partnership actually launched at Anime Expo. So there was a lot of Persona merch present. I didn't get to go into the Atlas Sega booth or the Atlas, or the Sega pop-up at, Little Tokyo, unfortunately. I wanted to, but it just never ended up being a good time for me to go there, unfortunately. But that's okay. I did get to see a bit of a live drawing at the Sega booth for a few minutes, so that was cool. Some more of the advertising. Again, Marriage Toxin was pushed like crazy. That booth that Bandai Namco Filmworks had was kind of insane. For how much floor space it was. It had a panel showing off each episode. It had character intros. It had these standees. It had a character vote for your favorite character. They were really, really, really pushing us, and obviously they put a lot of marketing budget into it, which I thought was really interesting. Similarly, the new Ghost in the Shell series by Science Saru, that had a big space showing off all the characters. I actually really like the art style for this. I'm kind of excited for this one. And Skeptical, of course, another adaptation of Ghost in the Shell. But I think like a modern interpretation of the 90s anime art is like really cool. I actually really like the cross-section of how it looks. I really like how the sergeant looks here. I really like that art style and some of the different art they have for it. And then just showing off some other banner ads. The Apothecary Diaries by Toho Animation. And I think the series next to it is Though I Am an Inept Villainess, which also has some advertising. I don't know if that's a GL, if that's a Yuri, but God, I hope it is. And then they had these rotating electronic billboards cycling through animes and other ads. I took a picture specifically when it was Wish Hat Atelier being pushed by Crunchyroll. But there were plenty of other anime and other like advertisements in general on it. Some more pictures of the show floor. Again, this is the Alien Stage Museum that they kind of announced that we're showing off for the 3D Live with Till, Luca, and Sua. like signatures on these little things, showing off their models for the concerts. Because it's a tour that's in LA, Seoul, and Tokyo, I believe. There's a better look at the Nikkei stage booth with the Doros around. They had a giant space for Nikkei there, and I think on the left is like one of the girls crystallized or something. I don't know anything about Nikkei. I hear the story is very good. I know that in the fights the girls' butts are in your face. That's about the limits of my knowledge. Also in, I believe, South Hall was this giant display by Persona 4 Revival. The stack of TVs, which is honestly a really cool like photo op and like marketing push. I thought this was really neat. And of course, I did get to go to HoloLive Serendipity both nights. I felt very lucky to go. Circumstances changed in such a way that I was somehow able to go both days. I think I was in orchestra one day and mezzanine the other. I don't remember which one's which. But both days I had a pretty nice view of it. And of course the concert was amazing. I'm a big HoloLive fan, have been for quite a while now. I was very surprised and feel very lucky that I was able to both go to All For One and Serendipity back to back. 2 years in a row, both days, both years. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity, and it was a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed it. Of course, no photos during the actual performance, but oh my gosh, Serendipity, of course. Alright, Anime Expo Fashion. This is where I kind of get into the nitty gritty of what I really look at. Again, I have redacted quite a few things from this presentation. I owe you a lift to the next concert. Oh, I would be honored. I'd be honored, Ray. You're so cool. Doki Bird. So this is me talking about like what I specifically noticed, and what I specifically noticed by IP. If you go to a convention that has a HoloLive concert, HoloLive is going to be the #1 license represented in apparel. By far. You had Omocat t-shirts, Omocat jackets, Omona jackets, tons and tons of hoppies, both for current talents and graduated talents, of course. Tons and tons of HoloLive. Also specifically Uma Musume. Specifically the official hoppy sold at the Cygames booth. I've got some pictures of more specific merch in the next one. Specifically the hoppy sold there, and then specifically some official t-shirts of the Uma Musume girls for the game license that are sold on Amazon officially by Cygames. And then #3, and this is kind of the staple, like the groundwork for anime right now. Like One Piece is like the tentpole anime right now. It kind of has been for the last 2 to 3 years. Honestly, ever since the climax of Wano and Gear 5 being announced and all of the things happening with that, One Piece has kind of been a beast in like general public anime awareness. So One Piece was easily the #3 license I saw. Tons and tons of recognizable t-shirts from Hot Topic and Box Lunch I've seen before. Lots of specifically natural colors. That's the color of the blank. So kind of tan, cream color shirts, a lot of them. Lots of blacks as well. And I noticed a lot of Iron Mouse. Of course, there was the Iron Mouse arcade there. Specifically, it wasn't a lot of the Hot Topic tees, although I did see those a bit. It was primarily the Apari collab. The very highly elevated items and sweaters and cut and sew pieces that are very, very, very cool. I don't own any of them, but I would like them. Also, Omona had a really cute collab with her as well there. I know probably a lot of you who have been to cons are aware of this, but there is kind of this culture that I've had to share with professional contacts of kind of the culture of events is like if you buy like a t-shirt, hoodie, jacket, whatever, like at a convention, it's very customary to like wear it the same day or next day. That's very, very, very common. kind of con etiquette, basically. Please use deodorant. That's all I ask. Lots of major apparel artists, originals and collabs. Omona, Omocat, and Liliums. Tons and tons of Omona, Omocat, and tees. And then Liliums, there was specifically a jacket that I note on the next page. And then for other miscellaneous licenses, I saw a lot of Free Run, a lot of Apothecary Diaries, a lot of Persona, a lot of Gachi Octa. Although the funny part about Gachi Octa apparel, by the way, this isn't counting cosplay. Cosplay is separate. For Gachi Octa, I noticed a lot of people were wearing t-shirts that featured Rio, one of the main girls from it, which I thought was very interesting. Then just an insane amount of other anime and video game properties that it'd be really hard to narrow down others I saw the most of. This is kind of the list of specifically what stood out the most common. There's always lots of Naruto. There's always lots of like Dragon Ball and Bleach and other like big shonen. Kind of like the I hate to use this word. I don't use this word negatively, but kind of like normie, like general audience popular series you're gonna see a lot of course. And the one that stood out from that was specifically One Piece. Now specifically down to products, VTubers and video game hoppies were huge, especially HoloLive. I didn't see a lot of the specific Doki Bird one being worn, although they were around, and I know they work for Fantastic Realities concert. At least that I saw. Again, my personal viewpoint with how many people is just going to be limited to the areas I was and who I saw and where I saw. So I kind of inherently have a bias. I feel like you'd have to have a full team to really get a scope of everything. But the big thing, and I noticed this kind of a difference because I also did similar notes for PAX East. The difference at Anime Expo was, it was definitely like if you were wearing a graphic tee or a hoodie or whatever, you were wearing it for the character. Like you were wearing it for the IP, for the character, to represent them, whatever it was. Whether it was official, whether it was fan art, that was key. Which I think was really interesting because it was actually, my notes were a little different on like Anime X or PAX East. And this might also be it being a summer con, so it's really easy to express yourself with a tee, with a graphic tee, whatever type of clothing you might be wearing. So, you know, plenty of people just wear cute like J fashion and that sort of stuff. PAX East was a little different. I'm blanking a little bit on my exact notes. I think the different at PAX East was it was a lot of modern and general tech over specifically IP. There weren't a ton of IP, and if it was Hollow Knight and Hollow Knight Silksong at the time. PAX East was also a March convention, and it was a very cold weekend, so that also obviously skews a lot of what was there. But there were a lot more like button-ups and like the Pikmin button-ups, so lots more video gamey, but also a ton of anime. That's kind of the difference you'll see for something like PAX East compared to Anime Expo. Am I like super quiet, by the way? I just noticed on my like sound controls, it looks like I'm very quiet, but I just talk quiet in general. Oh yeah, absolutely. To people watch and get these observations, you would need a full team to like analyze and gather data. Really. Jerseys were big, of course. The World Cup has been and was going on at the time, so we saw a lot of soccer and half character jerseys, just actual soccer teams. But there was a specific one for HoloLive I'll show off in the next one. Lots of propeller hats, lots of whimsical people. I love to see the propeller hats. They were really fun. The whimsy hats, they were cute. I saw tons of those around. Lots of promotional bags and accessories and balloons I saw a little bit of. There was also Pero, Fumoko's mascot, and what is it? It's something simple. Bay's mask, Mr. Squeak's balloons there by Remy Star Productions that were being handed out. So tons of those balloons. And then specifically the Uma Musume Happy plus their Amazon t-shirts, as well as specifically the Omona fish crossbody bag I noticed a lot of. So these are just some of the more specific products so you can actually see them. The Uma Musume Hoppy might be like the single thing I saw the most of. Top middle, we have a Hot Topic Luffy tee from One Piece that probably the single t-shirt I saw the most that I noticed was that one. And then the Zoro t-shirt, I think that's from Box Lunch with a foil pattern. So many people were wearing the Uma Hoppy, yes. I probably should have also added the Nikkei Hoppy, because I saw a lot of that one, the Doro Hoppy. Tons of that one as well. Bottom left, I noticed this one a lot. It was specifically, this Drawn to Dawn Hololive jersey, which is a two-sided character jersey, which I've actually never seen before. Because on one side is Ina, and then you can flip it inside out, and the other side is Kiara, which is honestly a really cute idea for a concert. Also, please wash it. Goodness. I saw a ton of that one specifically. But again, this is like vaguely like the articles of clothing I saw the most of. Then we have this really cute Lilium's tiger jacket, a very elevated jacket with the like the fluffy pattern and embroidery on the back. Super cute. And then I think it's really funny, I'm covering up the one behind me. So don't get jump scared, okay? Okay, don't be scared. Do not be alarmed. They took a good poop today. I hope this did not alarm you. I know, it's scary, but that's an Omona original t-shirt. I'm sorry, Salem. I'm sorry for scaring you. Scaling you? I was about to say scaling you. Top left, this free run t-shirt. There were some other free run t-shirts as well. I couldn't find a picture in time of the other specific one I saw a lot of, but I think it was like a kind of like magazine looking, it's called like front page look of free run and the original party. Are you scaling me up or down? Up. I'm giving you uppies. This middle top one, I saw a lot of this jacket. I kind of wanted to get this actually. From Chilio, one of the alley artists. Their art is so cute. I saw a lot of this jacket. I like it a lot. It looks very soft too. Top right, the Omocat collab Hololive Justice group t-shirt is probably the Hololive t-shirt I feel like I saw the most of. Again, at Anime Expo proper, not Serendipity specifically. Salem Starlight is now 6'8". Whoa, awesome. I give you uppies. And on the bottom left, these are the Amazon Uma Musume t-shirts. You can tell they're Amazon also because you can see the legal line under Oguri Cap's name. But it wasn't specifically just this Oguri one. They have one of these for a lot of the girls. I don't know if it's all of them currently. But it is very many of the Uma Musume game girls. This is specifically the video game license. As they look like rendered versions of the 3D models. But I do know that it is the license for the game specifically because it's by Sai Games. Tons of these t-shirts in different varieties, basically representing whoever your favorite horse girl is. And then this bottom middle, I think mackerel crossbody bag by Omono, I saw a ton of, and I think it's so cute. It's so stinking cute. I love all of her stuff a lot. I have a few of her jackets and other things. I like her stuff. And then specifically, one more that stood out to me here that I'm covering is this Apothecary Diaries Hot Topic t-shirt. It's got a really cool format, really cool like kind of trend going on with it. I like this one a lot. Text both in English and Japanese, which is, hey, working with anime licensors, that's something they're usually pretty strict on. Cosplay, again, this is only representative of specifically what I was able to see. I did pull some images from the internet for this of some of the cosplays. This is kind of me speaking just strictly on volume of what I observed. I would say the most representative franchise was probably One Piece. tons of all of the main characters, quite a few Luffys. I saw a Brook. I saw plenty of Nami, Robin, and Zoro specifically. Those were probably the ones I saw the most. I saw plenty of Sanjis, but just all of the main Straw Hat crew, and as well as like notable enemies. I saw Kizaru around. All sorts of characters from the world of One Piece were cosplayed there. Uma Musume. There's always horse girls. They've spread like a plague at every convention. Even at PAX East, I think Uma Musume was the #1 most cosplayed property that I could see. Other than like Hollow Knight at the time. Chainsaw Man, specifically Reze. Which, I mean, granted, her cosplay is pretty normal clothes and like a purplish wig. Kind of this like business casual with short shorts. So it's like a button-up blouse and like shorts, and then a choker with a ring on it, and then like a purple wig with the hair going down the middle. She's very cute. Lots of those. Those are probably the 3 most I saw in general. Tons and tons and tons of gachi Akutos, specifically like the generic cleaners or engine, specifically lots of Rio as well. Didn't see as many like Zonka and Jabber as I expected. I know some of the cons a few months back were like infested by Zonka and Jabbers all over the place. Especially for their like viral clips from the shows. Or from the show. Hoyoverse it's always Hoyoverse. I'm telling you, there's always Hoyoverse stuff. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. Ever since like Genshin Impact came out, Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, ZZZ, like you're gonna see a lot of it. Specifically, I noticed Honkai Star Rail the most. Tons of Genshin Impact, although mostly Genshin. I only really noticed the two of the more recent characters, Columbina and Sandrone. I'm gonna pretend I'm not talking about Yuri for a second. I swear. Also quite a few ZZZ cosplays, specifically the Angels of Delusion girls. I saw quite a few of. Alien Stage, which I thought was really funny. A lot of recent cons I've been to, there's been a lot of Alien Stage. But there's always a lot of Mizzies and Sulas. I feel like there weren't that many of the boys or Hyuna at AX this year, though. Anime NYC, there was a lot of all of them, of all 6 main characters. This year, it was Mizzy and Sua. I saw a handful of Lukas. I saw a few Tills. I feel like I didn't see any Ivans or Hyunas like at all, which I was a little surprised by. Tons of Witch Hat Atelier, especially Keyfree and Coco, of course, and Old Rugio, Old Man Yali. During my gacha days, even I played HSR for a bit. HSR came out like at the tail end of my gacha days. I haven't played gachas regularly in years. And I played up until the release of like Silver Wolf and HSR, and then I stopped. But man, I used to play so much Genshin. I played Genshin every day for like 2 years straight, I think, almost since launch. I'm pretty sure. I calculated it. It was until Kokomi released. I spent $100 to get her, and then I stopped playing, and then I swore off gacha, basically. West Coast loves Yuri. We love to see it. We just love to see it. Chikawa and the other characters from the Chikawa franchise saw quite a few cosplays and like Ida bags and stuff of them. Gacha was Fate Grand Order. Played that for 7 years. Oh goodness. Fate FGO is one of the only gacha games still on my phone. Fate and Uma Musume. Uma Musume I actually got into pretty deep for about a month. And that was the first gacha to pull me in for like years, but I don't spend anymore. I'm complete free to player. Gachas just aren't. I don't have the time. Madoka Magica, with the new movie coming up, there was quite a bit of Madoka and Homura's. Again, lots of Yuri. Really, honestly, tons of Yuri. And then, speaking of Yuri, Hololive, VTubers, Iron Mouse. I kind of lumped them together because there were, like, a ton of them, especially Iron Mouse. Hololive, of course, there were a lot. I feel like I saw a lot of Bays specifically. And just in general, other VTubers. But they didn't actually stand out as many as I'd expect to see. But again, that might have just been my limited purview of it. I know there was a lot of Nikke and other games as well. Take care, Ray. Thank you so much for hanging out. Of course, Steel Ball Run, especially at the panel, I saw lots of Johnnies and Gyros. I saw a few Jonathan Joestars. They were all at Serendskivity and not AX. Yeah. I did see quite a few at AX, just not as many as I expected. I feel like we're seeing a lot less of the Hololive, like, traditional staples. Like, we're not seeing as many, like, Corones and Marines, which were cosplayed a ton. Not as many Guras, of course. We did see, like, a handful of Suiseis. We saw, I think I saw 2 Faunas. Did I see any Mumes? I don't think I saw any Mumes this year. Hi, Tensei, welcome. I'm talking shop. I'm talking work stuff-ish. Saw a few Sabas. We did see a few Sabas, yeah. I saw a ton of Iron Mouse at AX, of course. Thank you for joining the party, Tensei. And then lots of Apothecary Diaries, although that seems to be kind of in a decline. Well, yeah, this is stuff I have to observe. I'm not, no, wait, no. I will be fauna at Off Guy for one day, but I am nowhere near a professional, and also I don't know how to do makeup still. But one thing I've noticed is as Apothecary Diaries has stayed, like, in the public conscious, same with, like, Free Ren, actually. They're both starting to decline in cosplay, like, amount after, like, it's been, like, 2 years of both of those series being, like, cosplayed, like, non-stop. Which I'm not complaining. I love both of those series a lot. But the Mau Maus, the Jinchis, Free Ren, Stark Fern, they were there, but they were definitely less than, like, ANYC last year, for example. Or even PAX East. I saw a lot of Free Rens at PAX East this year. Artist Alley. Was I supposed to write something else there? I don't remember. So Artist Alley was basically, from what I've been told, cut in half from the previous year. And you could feel it, because oh boy, that congestion felt. I mean, I knew it was going to be big, it was going to be busy regardless. However, it was definitely, like, packed. Basically, the booths were A to V, and every like line, every row was like A and B, C and D. So it was two letters together. Also, yes, it was genuinely dangerous. The CO2 levels were generally dangerous. So first off, Artist Alley was half of it. Half of the Kentia Hall. The other half were exhibitors. And then a chunk was taken out of Artist Alley specifically for the 18 plus, not safe for work, artists and exhibitors. Which was very messy. The flow of traffic was a little weird. I did have an industry badge, so I was able to go around. I was allowed to go around the lines and stuff of the Artist Alley kind of wait. But it was kind of messy, and I don't want to blame the employees too much, but it did seem like they weren't quite informed how to handle the traffic flow at times, so it did feel packed. I swear, for the publicly available Artist Alley, non-18 plus, that A and B row genuinely took 15, 20, 25 minutes to, like, walk through just because of how high congestion it is. You had to filter out into C and D because I just can't imagine, like, looping around. It was impossible. Yeah, it was, there are so many amazing artists in there, and it's so unfortunate that it was organized the way that it was, because it was rough. It was rough to get around in. But hey, I survived. I believe that the sticker is by Cat Dad when who was giving them for free to exhibitors, industry, or you could buy them at the booth. But I was industry, so they very kindly gave me one. Some pictures of some things that stood out to me, not the full scope of my pictures, but some very cool stuff. I believe top right, the artist's hide. Chelios with the jacket I mentioned in the bottom left. The bottom right was Sarah Young. And I'm blanking on the name of the top left at the moment. I have presenters notes, but they're not here on this in front of me right now, so I can't see them. But some of the cool art that stood out to me. I love the Space Panda shirt in the top right and the jacket on the bottom left. I think they're very cool. Excuse me. The Liliums. They were in the exhibitor hall, but they're kind of artist coded. There was a lot of apparel and also stationery. They had like build your own stationery thingies. Bottom left is Palette Ghost, who had some really cute mint and Doki Bird stickers I picked up. Top right was Fish. I just realized when I imported this from PowerPoint to Google Slides, it also destroyed some of the formatting on my images, so I realized it recropped some of them a little weird. So that one in the top right took out, it's actually a two-tone t-shirt stitched together, cut and sew on the back. But I like that t-shirt design a lot. And I just saw their art, but I'm blinking on the bottom right's name. I'm sorry to the artist. I'm sorry. I'm fake. It's no pictures, just text. You gotta raw dot the text here. But some specific notes that I took overall. Of course, this is cutting out kind of a lot of information I had to redact. My kind of business notes, but anime that were being marketed were kind of a mix of things that wrapped up 1 to 2 seasons ago or just ended, with a lot less ongoing and upcoming than I expected. One thing that actually really surprised me is, of all the activations, Toho, they had one for Apothecary Diaries, which I believe has some content coming. Jujutsu Kaisen, which just had Calling Games Part 1 end. And then the part that surprised me was they had a photo op for Free Run Season 2. And I'm not surprised that was there. The reason I'm surprised specifically is because those are like the marketing and materials from an anime that's like 2 seasons old. And typically, and that might be something that's changed in the market. I haven't been to enough recent big shows to really know. They usually don't advertise something that's like, half a year past now. Obviously, in the age of streaming, it makes a lot more sense to keep advertising and pushing something if it's still bringing in views and it's popular. I think it makes sense. I think it totally makes sense to advertise that. I was just surprised specifically because I would have expected them to either use something a bit more recent or something kind of like bigger upcoming. Not that Free Run's not big, just specifically because of that. But it was interesting. Also, way less Jujutsu Kaisen than I expected. There was a ton of art in Artist Alley, but there were not a lot of cosplayers, I feel like. 1 to 2 seasons ago, Prime Blu-ray disc time frame? That might be. I think Toho was selling Blu-rays, but I don't know if they've released. I don't know if those specific recent seasons have been prepared yet. I'm not sure. That's a good point, though. Far less Jujutsu Kaisen stuff. Didn't see a lot of apparel. Didn't see a lot of cosplay, which I was really surprised about because JJK is like, I feel like that's the, like, other than One Piece, that is like the anime and has been for the last few years. That's the shonen anime. Despite that, Pure Mind, the Impulse booth with blind boxes for JJK was always crowded. The Toho booth with their kind of exhibit and the Judge Man statue from the Calling Games Part 1, that's not a lot of crowding and a lot of like crowd presence. So obviously people are still fans of it. People still like it. People are there for it. I was just really surprised to not see as many cosplays as I expected. For cosplays, I did see quite a few, like Maki, both season 1 to 2 and her season 3 version. as well as some other characters in general. Just way less Gojos than I expected. In fact, it's kind of one I do feel I thought it was a bit more represented in apparel than cosplay, but was very light on both. Artist Alley being shrunk, like, you could feel it. You could really feel it. You could feel how congested Artist Alley was. And I know it's AX. It's going to be congested either way, but it was intense. And then just an observation just from being to 4 cons now this year. Big conventions, you're going to see more niche cosplays, more fan representation of the current and up-and-coming things, of course, which, you know, I think it just makes more sense. There's more room for that. The mainstream stuff is still there, but I'm noticing at these big conventions, the, like, quote-unquote primary mainstream stuff we're seeing a lot less of, actually. While the smaller conventions, you're gonna see a lot more evergreen cosplays, a lot more mainstream. Like, Pokemon, I think, is always, like, a big thing at local cons, but not as big at, your larger conventions. And of course, I just went to a local con recently and kind of like confirmed my biases. Lots of free runs, lots of JJK characters, that sort of stuff. But for a lot more your niche stuff, your VTubers, your smaller VTubers, unless they're specifically at a smaller convention, you're gonna see those at the bigger conventions, not the smaller ones. And then also, like, the local con I went to, they also didn't, like, only one booth had VTuber merch. Last year it was like 3. This year there was only 1. Shout out to the guy Awa who's wearing a Sylveon tuxedo. I want to shake that guy's hand. He sounds awesome. So some of my main takeaways is just, AX is an industry, capital I, industry convention made for big announcements, but not just with anime. It's really focused on all things kind of adjacent and in that culture. So obviously the increasing presence of VTubers, Korean media with webtoons and things like Alien Stage, Japanese, Chinese, Korean game studios are taking a big share of the floor space. Anime actually, which is funny because I feel like maybe not the case at ANYC, but I could be wrong because I didn't pay that much attention last year. Anime still primarily dominated the floor space, but things like Alien Stage, VTubers, definitely gacha games are just starting to creep in on that floor space for the exhibitor booths. So many of the exhibitor booths were video game studios, gacha studios, but like specifically, like they went big. The Arknights Enfield booth was gigantic. Nikkei had a stage. Punishing Grey Raven I'm not as familiar with, but I know they had a giant booth even if it was at the end of the hall. Like, lots and lots of rooms. Psy Games took up a lot of space. The Nasuverse stuff with Fate Grand Order took up a lot of floor space. And they make these really tall booths that take up a lot of room. VTuber related booths are trying to dominate. I think there were over 4 booths set up for meet and greets. So Mozo Box, Iron Mouse Arcade. I'm blanking on the others. Oh, Gamer Subs. And there's at least one more, but there might have been more than that I'm just blanking on. Exhibitors really focused, like the big industry exhibitors focused on activations and interactions. Lots of advertising, but not necessarily sales. Like, yes, sales were a part of it, of course. But some of them, like Crunchyroll, it was really focused on the activations in that booth, the booth behind me that you can kind of see here. They had like a voice acting like demo thing you could do that seemed really fun. They had like a game for Demons of the Shadow Realm, for Witch Hat Atelier, maybe like 1 to 2 other series as well. So lots of different interactions and activations in there. There's a lot of there was a lot going on with Artist Alley. I will say there a lot of them were kind of samey. It was a lot of like Gen Z relatable. Seems to really be dominating. The silly little guys, the little treats, the jokes like that, like kind of seem to really dominate Artist Alley lately. And then of course, it's Anime Expo. It's a fan convention, a fan event. What you're gonna see is a lot of fan art. That's gonna be the primary focus. And I think it just being Anime Expo, and especially with them cutting down the number, you're just gonna see some of the most skilled artists in the like online art industry getting their chance or whatnot. And I think it really reflected like almost every single artist, sorry. Speaking generally, every single artist there had absolutely amazing and beautiful art, and all of them did like really good work. I got to talk to a lot of the artists. They're all so cool. It's all so amazing. No AI. During my presentation, someone asked me, so what was the situation with AI? And I said, you're not going to see that bullshit there. That's what the situation was. But I survived it. Well, that was long-winded. Now, class. If you have any questions, please, by all means, feel free to ask. And if I can answer, I would be happy to do so. Anyway, that wasn't everything. Obviously, I cut out a lot of what I actually talked through, but and my memory is very quickly and or slowly fading as it works, so yeah. Anyways, thank you all for listening to my presentation. My voice hurts. That's just something I wanted to share with the Starling, just talking through like what I go to events for, what I have to talk through, what I have to work through. It was worth them sitting there from like a business perspective. Aw. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. You put that all together with as much time as we spent together. Yeah. That's kind of like where the like note taking really helps, is like I don't like tick off, but if I like really notice something a lot, if I see a lot of something, that's when I write it down and I'm like, okay. Cause then from there it's easier for me to remember like the specific, like what were the specific One Piece t-shirts I saw? What were the specific HoloLive articles of clothing I saw? That's kind of where it's at. Like I remember there were a lot of like gachapon things, and like Impulse kind of really dominates these like fandom based spaces of like lots of gachapon, lots of blind boxes are really strong, kind of seems to be pushed by Labubu's last year especially. But blind boxes have always been big in the anime space, especially gachapon. We're just seeing a higher adoption of like gachapon the brand in like American spaces. I had to pay close attention to Artist Alley for my job and the artists there and what they do, and I love talking with artists. As shy as I am, as shy and meek and difficult of a time I have chatting with people, I very, very, very much enjoy it. I love going to these shows. They're kind of always stressful during the moment, but I think they're worth going to kind of see what's popular, especially because I, as I mentioned at the beginning of stream, since I kind of work in that specific anime, video game, online niche space, it's a really good way for us to gauge what's popular. I think Anime Expo is like one of the easiest to tell, like what is popular with the average fan. Because big conventions, the super big conventions, they don't just attract the hardcore fans, they also attract the casual fans, or people that want to see what's going on, or people to come with their friends. So that's where it's really important to check out like what people are wearing, what people are buying. If I were a bit more brave, you know, I might Q&A some random people if they're willing to give me my time. I would never want to pressure anyone into that. Just like, what are you a fan of? What do you like? Like, what do you like look for? Because I would be very curious to kind of know. Since I'm not working a booth, I'm just kind of walking around as an observer, basically, a people watcher. And I try to, you know, talk with people to become industry contacts and stuff as well at times, or meet with existing contacts. That's happened before as well. But yeah. This, of course, had plenty of information redacted, and I tried not to go into specific things as much, but I hope it was cool to kind of hear what I do, what I pay attention to, and everything. I feel like I talked a lot. I feel like that's the most I've yapped in a while. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm sleepy. I'm so tired. Excuse me. Yeah. I did my best. I did my best. My voice feels a little weak. I did so much yapping. Blah. But yeah, that's why they sent me to Anime Expo. I'm pretty proud of the full presentation. They did say that I did a good job, and they are glad that they sent me. And they said that they sent the right person, which is very, very, very sweet. So I hope I can keep going to events and doing a good job. I tried to convince them, like, hey, AMIC is like the other big industry anime one. Send me please, but that one didn't play. I think we were looking at San Diego Comic-Con, but that is when I am at Anime Expo, or at Offkai, so they're not sending me. They're not forcing me to go. But Anime Expo was definitely the one they're like, hey, you're going to AX. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to AX, alright. Hi, Jersey, welcome. Jersey, you're gonna get some demerits for being late to the presentation. Teasing. Welcome. Hello. Hello, baby boy. Go sleep, girl. I have to eat dinner. I have to eat dinner. I don't have a choice. If I don't eat dinner, they'll get me. I'm not doing one of these for Offkai. Offkai is for fun. I'm tired of thinking. No, Jersey, I'm kidding. I did tell Salem, or just anyone, to yell at me if I'm if I'm checking my work emails at Offkai. Gonna fail SAR class because of attendance. No, that's okay. You get a passing grade for being here. Yeah. I can't stop yawning. I'm sleepy. I talked myself sleepy. I already worked out today. I already did my language training for the day. I did everything I had to do today. Yeah. Unfortunately, I do have bad news. My room is even more warm. This is... Which language? Just Japanese still. I do a little bit of Japanese practice every day when I remember. Oh my goodness. I'm so sleepy. I'm so warm. It doesn't help that I'm warm. The warmth is making me sleepy too. Gah. I told you, this is the most naked star stream there's ever been. I'm wearing a sports bra and shorts. You did do it every day at AX? I did what? Oh, yeah. I did do Duolingo every day at AX. I've been keeping my streak. My streak's at like 1,300 days. Y'all mind if a white girl speak a little Nihongo? Nihongo. What's the... Can I break out the country accent? Yeah. Thank you for the save, Tensei. Y'all mind if a white girl speaks a little Nihongo? I can't... Where is the southern twang? What's something that I can activate? the Southern Belle. I don't have a Southern accent, but I grew up in the South. Oh, honey, you got a big storm coming. Nihongo, y'all. I'm sorry, is it bad that I read that? My first thing is in. The first thing is I read it in Clover's voice. What? What? I can't play that. That's an audio clip. How to bring out the Southern drawl in a woman who grew up in the South without an accent. That's so much effort. Thank you, Mega. But it's for a Southern accent specifically. How about one of your passions? Like what? Phrase for practicing Southern accent. I know some of you have heard it before, but it's been like there's got to be something to activate it. Oh my god, that's awful. Oh, bless your heart. Bless your. I want like baby. Bless your heart. What is this? Oh well, bless your heart, sugar. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. At least Megu said it was good before, and he's a southern-fied. That's not what I was trying to say, but that sure, that we'll take it. 50 of the best Southern sayings. Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! She's Southern. I'm Southern. Against my will. She was mad in a wet hen. So the cows go. Cattywampus! It's blowing up a storm. She's as pretty as a peach. These are all accompanied with like an Instagram graphic, and it's making me laugh. What? Carry me to the store? What? These are fakes. Yeah, these are not real Southern sayings. What are these? Cattywampus is real, but what did I mean, the thing that I always hear was warsh. When I lived in the South, it was always warsh. You gonna get up and wash your clothes, honey? I think I'm too embarrassed to actually try it. Oh, you're right. It's the OL. There's warsh. My grandpa said warsh. Yeah, my mom says warsh. You gonna go out there and wash the clothes? It's funny because my mom doesn't have a like strong Southern accent, but there's very specific words. Whoosh. What was this bit? What why did I want to? Can you go get me some of the old from the Piggly Wiggly so I can fry those hush puppies up for ya? Hun. Sugar. Too high a pitch. I don't know, man. I give up. This is for white girls speaking Nihongo. That's what started this? What's wrong with me? This bit was not worth it. This bit was not worth it. Hand-me-downs. Fixin'. Y'all come again. Would you... What? 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 120 best Southern sayings that'll charm your britches off. I mean, the funny, like, it was an authentic Southern accent coming from someone who grew up around Southern accents. And specifically, I specifically tried to avoid the accent growing up. That was the thing. I specifically refused to get a Southern accent because I did not like how it sounded. And I was around family who talked that way. And I was very Warsh. It was always Warsh was the one I was fighting against. You can't make me say Warsh. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that word. I used to have a really strong Southern accent, but ever since I left Tennessee, it's faded a bit. Ah. I pulled it out for a specific game. And I remember people being surprised, but I don't remember what that game is, though. But maybe I'm too self-conscious to do it just naturally. Examples of... Also doesn't have an accent, but like me, my mom, and my dad all dodged it, but my aunt has it. That's so funny. It's so funny. I would have never figured Star to be a Southern belle. That's because I'm not. It's because I'm not. Ah. That makes sense. I dodged the Southern accent on purpose. I was fighting against it. PNW? PNW. Oh, Pacific Northwest, yeah. Yeah. Native Californian subs out? Oh, really? Pacific Northwest. I don't know if I've ever seen it abbreviated as PNW, but I understand now. It's what calls to me. I mean, technically that's where Star Pop is from, so it makes sense. Star Pop is from the Pacific Northwest. Star Mama is from the South. I can't tell you. Oh my goodness. I can't stop yawning. I'm so tired. I yapped too much. And I'm warm. I'm dying. I do remember this is like one of our only like full weeks of streams before Offkai. Oh my god, Offkai is next week. Oh god. Oh god. I'm tired. Hi. Can you believe it, guys? Offkai, just a week away. I can't believe this information. Are you guys excited? Offkai, just a week away. Wow, it's gonna be so much fun. I am so excited about this information. Farthest north I've ever been is... It's gonna be very fun. I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I wish I could go. Maybe next year. I would like, if possible, I would love for Offkai to be like the con I go to every year. Because I think, you know, ignoring like work, like if work never sends me to a con again, I think my like ideal right now would be like Offkai and a rotating big con. Like ANYC, AX, AWA. Like I think I'd prefer ANYC every year, but I like the opportunity to see different people each year. Honestly, if I could afford it, I think I'd just go to all of them. I'd go to AX, I'd go to Offkai, I'd go to ANYC. I kind of want to go to AWA still. Anime Weekend Atlanta. There's so many other cons I've heard great things about, but I can't afford to travel like that. Come to Halmat. I know a few people going. I would if I could. Still live in NorCal, I would absolutely be going. Wait, Eterna, have you gone on a trip yet, or is that still coming up? Is a holiday Matsuri? I don't think I can. I think that's like unfortunately really bad timing for me this year. Holiday Matsuri. Yeah, this, oh god. Is that the same weekend as AWA? Awa? I mean, I've been there before. I've been to Disney once. Anime Weekend Atlanta. Are those the same weekend? No. Oh, wait. AWA is like way earlier this year. Whoa. AWA is in November this year? Jersey, we're literally about to hang out in a week. What do you mean? Not that I complain. Not that I complain about going to Holiday Matsuri and saying hi there. But our trip was a couple weeks ago. It was fun. It was definitely going. Oh, good. I'm glad it went well. I hope you guys had fun. Convention list 2026. I like Disney World a lot when I went. I do end up going to places on weird circumstances a lot. I went there as a school trip. Where are we in there? We're in July. Offkai. Oh, I'd love to go to Otakon again. Man, Otakon was the con I grew up on. I have never been to it in the DC location. I've only been there in Baltimore, and I went 4 years in a row. From like 2011 to 2015. Oh man. I miss Otakon. I would really like to go again just for the vibe. Although I am a little scared it being in a different convention center means it's gonna obliterate my nostalgia. Moving from Baltimore to DC. Went to MagFest. I've always heard MagFest is really fun. Oh, really? Otakon's in the Walter Washington Convention Center now. Fan Expo. Lots of smaller. ANYC, of course. The Javits Center. Anime Impulse. Are there 2 Anime Impulse? Or is it just 1? Oh, there's 3. Oh, okay. So there's an LA, Bay Area, and Orange County. I didn't know there were 3 different Anime Impulse. Oh my goodness. What the heck? I knew about Anime Impulse. I didn't know there were that many. I'm sure in Dallas, I'm sure there are. There's a this is what I use. Anime con. This is for looking at like everything though. Anime NYC. Oh, take care, Salem. Thanks for hanging out. Anything else stand out to me? It's like a lot I've heard of. Lots that I've heard of. But not much standing out to me just looking at everything. I've heard of Youmacon. I think Youmacon used to be a big like online convention. I used to hear about people going to that every year. Wait, is my old one still on here? I'm curious. Anime USA? Oh, I almost went to Anime USA once in Virginia. I think I had to cancel that one though at the time. Wait, AWA, wait, is that right? AWA is, yeah, no, November, that's November. I can't read. PAX Unplugged in Philly. Holiday Matsuri. I think part of the problem is like there's just so many. There's so many. And when you can only pick like 1 to 2 a year, it's such a like... It's so overwhelming to look at it. Is ToraCon still around? Did they change it? So ToraCon was the convention that was run every year by my college anime club, actually, back when I was in school in RIT. Did they? Did they still run it? Place. Okay, it's still going on, I suppose. In the track and field center. As like a student, it was like a perfect anime just an anime convention on campus. They had Iron Mouse this year. Wait, that's crazy. They had Iron Mouse this year? What? Wait, that's crazy. Wait, that's so cool. I'm so proud of my little con. Oh my goodness, that's so cool. Hammer Girl Anime, which is a big, like, especially Weiss Schwarz distributor, but also just anime merch and stuff in general, is like right next to the campus. So they were like a local sponsor, sort of. Had the vibe of one, at least. I still have some really nice prints from that convention. Oh my goodness. It takes me back, like, looking at their stuff. Oh, it's so fun. So fun. Alrighty. Okay. Chat, I'm sleepy. I've been sleepy, but we stay sleepy. So I'm gonna get going. Thank you all for yapping with me about anime and Anime Expo for a little bit. It's been fun. I hope all of you have a lovely rest of your night, and I hope to see you all again soon when I next join your party, everyone. I'm still like my voice is going in and out. My goodness. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.